Well, just in case you hadn't heard, Donald John Trump, adding on to his list of infamy, is the first former U.S. president to be indicted federally. Now, Jack Smith, when he did the indictment, and he was asked about it, actually, before he was even asked, he said that the thing he would like the people of the United States to do is read the thing. That's pretty fair. Let's do it. So this here is the indictment of Donald Trump. It's what Jack Smith says he did wrong. Okay, cool. Let's look. General allegations. At times, material in this indictment on or about dates approximate stated below. Okay, defendant Donald Trump was the 45th president of the United States of America. Talking about when he held office. When he was president, Smith says he had lawful access to the most sensitive classified documents and national defense information gathered and owned by the United States. Cool. Over the course of his presidency, Trump gathered newspapers. This is important, actually. Over the course of his presidency, Trump gathered newspapers, press clippings, letters, notes, cards, photographs, official documents, and other materials in cardboard boxes that he kept in the White House. Among those materials Trump stored in his boxes were hundreds of classified documents. Quick pause. Y'all know I think Trump tried to sell some of these things, just because I always try to think the least of him, because that has been a great guiding star for what he has actually done. But when I read this, it made me think, okay, it's entirely possible Trump is just that much of a dick. It's entirely possible that despite everything, I still overestimated Trump. I still thought there was some kind of method to this madness. No. At least according to Smith, it's entirely possible Trump just shoved these in a box, and when he was told he had them, was a big baby about it. I really don't want it to be that. I would rather he had a nefarious plan. I don't want to be Gargamel versus the Smurfs. I want a cool adversary. But it looks like it's entirely possible this guy was just so irresponsible with them. Moving on. The classified documents Trump stored in his boxes included information regarding defense and weapons capabilities of both United States and foreign countries, United States nuclear programs, potential vulnerabilities of the United States and its allies to military attack, and plans for possible retaliation in response to a foreign attack. I love David Feldman, but David Feldman was saying we shouldn't have that all this stuff doesn't matter, that it was classified. I gotta say I disagree. This, right, Jaw? This matters. This is stuff I truly don't want foreign nations to know about, other nations at all to know about. Whether or not we should or shouldn't be doing this stuff, I do not want other nations knowing about it. Because it truly does endanger lives. It's not good. Maybe it's all out of date. Great. Neat. Hopefully that's the case. Regardless, it's bad. It's dangerous. And setting this as a precedent is particularly dangerous. The unauthorized disclosure of these classified documents could put at risk national security of the United States. Okay, moving on. At 12 p.m. on January 20, after his failed coup, Trump ceased to be president. Thank Christ. As he departed the White House, Trump caused scores of boxes, many of which contained those classified documents, to be transported to his Mar-a-Lago club in Palm Beach, Florida, where he maintained his residence. Trump was not authorized to possess or retain those classified documents. Right here. Trump was not authorized to possess or maintain them. That is the first thing in this that Trump will disagree with. Has disagreed with. He says he was authorized. Okay, right there. And if you're a Trump fan, respond to this, please. Right there, Jack Smith disagrees with him. He says he was not authorized to. Don't you just think that a court of law is the proper place to hash that out? The law says what it says. Go in front of a judge. If Trump didn't do nothing, as you say, go in front of a judge, point to the place in the law where it says he was allowed to retain those documents. Forget that they were classified. Point to the place where it says he was allowed to retain those. Jack Smith will point to the place where it says he's not, and the judge will decide. I bet Trump can't do that because he was not allowed to retain those. Because of course not. Because I said, you said, millions of other Americans said, he cannot be president. Not allowed. No more. We picked a different guy because I and millions of others thought Trump's a bum. So we kicked him out. The Mar-a-Lago Club was an active social club, which between yada yada hosted events for tens of thousands of members and guests. Okay, so security problems there. On 2 occasions in 2021, Trump showed classified documents to others as follows. We're going to get less detailed soon to power through this, but let's look at that. In July 2021, at a Trump National Golf Club in Bedminster, New Jersey, during an audio-recorded meeting with a writer, a publisher, and 2 members of his staff, none of whom possessed security clearance, and regardless, even if they did, they didn't, but even if they did, wasn't Trump's business to decide they get to see it. It was Joe Biden's business. If it was the president's at all, frankly. Trump showed and described a plan of attack that Trump said was prepared for him by the Department of Defense and a senior military official. Trump told the individuals that the plan was highly confidential and secret. Trump also said, as president, I could have declassified it, and now I can't, but this is still a secret. In other words, it's still classified. He said, I could have declassified it. Now I can't. So it's classified. Okay. In August of September 2022, at the Bedminster Club, Trump showed a representative of his political action committee, Jesus Christ, who did not possess a security clearance, a classified map related to a military operation, and told the representative that he should not be showing it. Said he shouldn't be showing it to the representative. And that the representative should not get too close. On March 30th, 2022, the FBI opened a criminal investigation into the unlawful retention of classified documents at the Mar-a-Lago Club. A federal grand jury investigation began the next month. The grand jury, hey, said it right that time, issued a subpoena requiring Trump to turn over all documents with classified markings. If he would have done it, then that would have been that. But he didn't. Trump endeavored to obstruct the FBI and the grand jury investigations and conceal his continued retention of classified documents by, among other things, suggesting that his attorney falsely represent to the FBI, a grand jury, that Trump did not have the documents. So, telling his attorney to lie. You want to know why Trump's attorneys keep dragging him to court? Some of them did what he asked and lied to the cops. Directing defendant Waltine Nauta, a.k.a. Walt Nauta, to move boxes of documents to conceal them from Trump's attorney, the FBI, and the grand jury, suggesting that his attorney hide or destroy documents called for by the grand jury subpoena, providing to the FBI and grand jury just some of the documents called for by the grand jury subpoena while claiming he was cooperating fully, and causing a certification to be submitted to the FBI and grand jury falsely representing that all documents called for by the grand jury subpoena had been produced, while knowing that, in fact, not all such documents had been produced. As a result of Trump's retention of classified documents after his presidency and refusal to return them, hundreds of classified documents were not recovered by the United States government until 2022. Again, not all the documents, at least to our knowledge, but hundreds of documents were not recovered until 2022. On January 17, nearly 1 year after Trump left office, and after months of demands by the National Archives and Records Administration for Trump to provide all missing presidential records, Trump provided only 15 boxes, which contained 197 good God documents with classification markings on June 3rd, in response to a grand jury subpoena demanding the production of all documents. with classification markings. Trump's attorney provided the FBI 38 more documents with classification markings. On August 8th, pursuant to a court-authorized search warrant, the FBI recovered from Trump's office and a storage room at the Mar-a-Lago Club 102 more documents with classification markings. Jesus Christ. Okay, so let's talk about what we've read here. Imagine for a moment you took something from the government. Let's say you took just 10 classified documents. You took them from the government. And the government called you up and said, give them back. And you said no. You know what would happen? FBI would call your local sheriff's department, have them send a deputy out to see you. You'd be dragged out of your home in your boxer shorts and a t-shirt or whatever it is you sleep in. And they'd tell you to put your hands against the car, palms flat. And they'd cuff your hands behind your back then. And they'd sit you down cross-legged in front of the tire of the FBI's vehicle, and you'd wait there in your skivvies until the FBI field office could send somebody down. And then a team from that field office would go through your home, and they'd yank out the drawers and turn them over and toss those aside. They'd take a box cutter and slice open your pillowcases and yank out the stuffing. They'd overturn your bed. They'd go tearing through your house. If they had to, they'd take a hammer to the walls, peel the drywall down, and look in with a flashlight until they found every last document that they thought you had because you lied to them. And you might be able to stop some of the damage to your house by, with your hands still cuffed, and with an officer holding the back of your shirt, showing them, nodding towards where they were one at a time. And after they had acquired all of them, yet to uncuff you, they'd walk you back to the car, open up the back door, put the hand on the top of your head, say, watch your head, put you in, watch your legs till you swung in, close the door, and off you would go to jail. If it was on a Friday evening, let's say, by the time they're done, you would spend the weekend in jail because you can't see the judge till Monday. If you want to pay bail, they'll set bail on Monday. You're going to spend the weekend in jail. That's what would happen to you at the very most gentle. All Trump had to do was give them back within a year. All he had to do was give them back. Had multiple opportunities. But he didn't take it seriously because he doesn't take you seriously. We need to insist that he be shown that we are the sort of folks that need to be taken seriously. Enough of this oligarchy. Enough of the rich thinking they get to live by different laws than us. Don't let the right co-opt the idea of there being a two-tier system of justice. For the record, I think there should be. I think once you become a billionaire, once you become a powerful politician, then you should be held to a higher standard. What the right says is happening, I think, is what we should have done years ago. We should have insisted that these people treat these positions of responsibility with a little bit of respect. But at the very least, what is happening now is a delayed version of the rich and powerful being held to the same amount of accountability that we would be. The very delayed, very gentle version of actually having the laws applied to them. Brooke, no nonsense when it comes to people objecting to this. Be clear about what treatment Trump would have received if he was not, once upon a time, the president. Let's see what the wicked community has to say.